What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I am joined once again with Chris, and we're going to talk today what it's really like living in Dubai. We're going to be talking from two different perspectives. For me, myself, coming over here as a young guy, trying to make money, trying to live out here and make something of myself. And Chris also doing the same, but from a different very perspective, very business background, also construction background, and also with a family. So two totally different ages. So we're just going to sort of have a conversation and give you guys a bit of an insight into how we've kind of lived our life. So Chris, you know, you came over here with your family. How hard was it at first when you first moved to Dubai? Surrounding, because you're from Canada, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, with me, I think I'm a bit of a different breed of person. Like you can throw me wherever, I'll figure it out. That's always been my mentality. I lived on my own since I was 16 years old. And, I've always we just had to make it happen, especially with kids. So, I mean, look, I came here because of COVID. I thought it was the best time to make a move. Dubai was the only place that was open. Like, let's face it, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the Middle East, they handled COVID better than anyone else.
For sure.
That was a testament to the longevity that I see in this region of the world. So, I mean, honestly, the answer to the question, it was not very hard for me. Not to say it's going to be like that for everybody, but honestly, I love new challenges. So
For sure.
It was great.
Yeah, and it was the same for me, you know, like when I first moved, I mean, I already moved once to Marbella, and I felt like I already broke ground with moving away from my hometown, and I already, got used to it by doing that. So, Dubai felt like a walk in the park. And I say this to everybody, it's like, Dubai feels like home away from home, apart from the weather's always hot, or at least, well, the weather's great. I'm not complaining about that at all. But, moving to Dubai for me for the first time, it was different.
Bro, I came from Canada. Imagine the weather.
Freezing cold mountains, lakes, and then all of a sudden desert and sun.
Yeah.
And I guess the hardest part for me was just finding my feet with everything, getting from my background in video production into real estate. But, I didn't actually find it that difficult.
No,
it's not that hard to figure out.
I think I've known you since you got started.
Yeah.
So I think it was just you figuring out your place, because you have the genuine good vibes and good intentions for your investors and for your clients and just for your everybody, all your colleagues as well too. So I think the only thing was just finding your stroke, finding where you fit in.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. And same for you though, you kind of kicked me up the arse with that hustle mentality and just give me the fire that I needed. But I guess, in terms of how difficult it was for either of us, I mean, I see a lot of people move to Dubai. It's a breeze, It's not that stressful, right?
No, everything is there. You need gas,
they'll fill it
come
up
to you. You need your tire chains, they'll come to you. You need groceries. Man, my wife goes and orders online our cat food. In 7 minutes, 8 minutes, they're here.
I made a video the other day on Instagram. I ordered some AirPods and some coffee, and they both arrived in 15 minutes.
Before your video was done?
Yeah, before my video was done, absolutely. I was like, I just ordered some AirPods and coffee, and then it came, and it's like, where else in the world?
Proven testament. That was great.
Yeah. And what do you think in terms of Dubai? Why do you think it's so different? And why do you think so many people are moving here now? Because so many people have got their eyes, mine and yours investors coming from all parts of the world.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just purely investing with the intention they might move over, and I can guarantee that a lot of them probably will end up moving because actually, why would I not live here? Especially if they've bought off plan. A lot of my clients have bought off plan.
Well, let's be honest. Let's talk openly. Did you really think that you were gonna stay? Because I know I wasn't.
No.
I didn't think I was gonna stay. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I thought it was gonna be we're going to let's face it, the view of coming to the Middle East, okay, as a Canadian or as a European.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the Middle East in the end of the day. And the image that the news portrays of the Middle East is nothing like when you're here. It's completely different.
Totally.
It's just like anywhere else. You go to New York, you go to Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver, London, same vibes, except its opportunity is endless here, isn't it? Everyone's here for the same reason: hustle, business, networking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually, it's funny you say that, because I rented out short-term apartments for the first 9 months in Dubai because I was so convinced that I was going to go to LA and live there, because I was like, I'm moving to LA, but I'm going to go as Dubai was going to be like a stopover.
Yeah.
But I live in Dubai for 9 months. Then I go to LA and I'm like, holy shit, LA sucks. They're recovering so hard from COVID. The American government weren't putting any effort, or at least they didn't seem like any effort. The segregation between the rich and the poor was undeniably visible. And I mean, like, there were people walking on the street talking to themselves, obviously people that are influenced by drugs and all that kind of stuff.
But the psychological impact of COVID.
But then I would even go to a
crazy.
grocery store. I'd spend $100 on 4 items, and I'm like, holy hell, this place is not even cheap.
I know.
So then I was like, well, why would I not want to be in a growing economy versus what seemed like a dying economy?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And then in the transition, into the real estate game for you, you come from a construction background. Did you find it difficult at first?
I did, to be honest with you, I did. I haven't really worked at a company. Before I came into real estate, when I moved, I sort of already shifted out of construction, and I was selling cars for 6 months. And that also was very challenging because I'm not used to working as an employee. And even though we work as agents or we work at a brokerage, we still have some sort of structure and there's politics. So that was my main struggle of being in charge of a company and then going into being almost another number, right?
Yeah.
So, and also having to deal with the politics of the company, the hierarchy and stuff like that. So to me, that was the biggest challenge. And I still face that challenge to this day.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 3 years.
Nobody can manage Chris. They can try, but they won't succeed.
Of course.
And it's for me as well. Like when I, you got to imagine when I first started getting out of my salaried job many years, probably like 10 years ago now, and I became a PT, went into videography. I've not had a boss forever.
Yeah,
So I was like, I walked into the real estate company. I was like, all right, here we go. I turned up in shorts and t-shirt. I was like, I know I can sell this. I know I can do this.
Yeah.
Are you going to give me a job? They're like, yeah, go on, go for it. At the end of the day, they're not paying you a salary, but I proved myself right. I did all right in the end. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and how did you find your family adapting to it? Because obviously it's a big thing for people when they bring their kids over.
I think there's good and bad. So I think that one thing is that there's so many groups in every community. Like you go to ranches, they have a community for all of the ranches, even the sub communities. You have, because our kids homeschool, so you have homeschooler communities, Montessori communities. So there's so many places where you can like join groups. And since it's a place where everyone is moving and coming to Dubai, it's very easy to meet people, I would say. Now, the drawback is I find that a lot of the, unlike Canada or even maybe Europe, it could be the same, I'm not quite sure, is that everyone's sort of segregated into where they're from. So the Egyptians, the Jordanians, the Europeans, or like everyone sort of segregates into a group of where they're from, which makes it a bit challenging because in Toronto, we're like, it's very diverse. Everyone is sort of just all together.
But do you think that's coming from a perspective that you live in a community?
No, I think that's one thing that's everywhere.
Again, or in general, yeah.
I think it's an in general thing in Dubai. So again, we're just being open and honest.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I've had that experience necessarily.
I think it's more of a family with children
exactly,
sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's a
with
lot
the
different.
wives. Like for me, I don't find that as a man, it's not like that. But I think when it comes to the wives and the kids and all that kind of stuff, it's completely different. So it's something that we cannot literally like lay testament to. So,
no.
So, but I think that from what I've heard from my wife, that's been her experience so far. And I've heard that from many wives as well too, like from the network of my wife. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't personally, because I mean, obviously, I'm out and about all the time. And again, when I first moved to Dubai, I was doing the video production and stuff like that. So I was out and about meeting so many different people. So I didn't necessarily feel like that. But if I actually looked at my friendship circle now, I would say, actually, most of them are English.
Yeah.
Or most of them are just like European, you know?
Except for me.
Well, except for you, you're an exception. You're like, I
don't even know where.
No, we're somewhere like somewhere on the globe with a Canadian accent, What would you say to anybody who is on the fence about moving to Dubai?
Do it. Look, you never get anything done in life or you never make something about your life unless you just jump into it. Risk is the most important thing. Any successful person in business had to risk it all, whether it's your money, your finance, your time, making a move. Dubai is a place for the next 5 to 10 years where you have the opportunity to tap into investors that you not normally will see or have access to in other parts of the world since everyone's already plugged in. So now is the time to capture all the big investors and hedge funds and family offices that are coming to Dubai and planning to set up shop, which there's a ton of. So I would say do it. Don't wait.
Absolutely. I would say to anybody who is striving to really get into that hustle mode and surround yourself with beasts, people that want to do business.
Correct.
Not just people that talk about it, people that are doing it, walking the walk. And if you are on the fence, then it's a now or never situation.
We're gonna push you. If you're on the fence, call us up. Join.
Yeah, I will
set up a meeting with us. We'll push you over the edge.
I will get you. I will get you over. You won't even think twice. To be honest, it's happened a few times. I've had a few people message me on Instagram, and then all of a sudden they're in Dubai, and I'm like, oh hey, you came, and they're like, yeah, you kind of convinced me. So that's an interesting topic. I mean, I think it's very important for anybody who is looking to make a move, whether that's investing or whether that's coming over from a perspective of having a family.
Absolutely.
Whether it's having a perspective of coming over as a young man or woman, looking to do something,
I have something else. So the perspective of Dubai, it's very luxurious. It's very glamorous. We cannot miss this topic. So what is your output of, or what do you think about that sort of image that Dubai has? Is it as glamorous that everyone says? Or isn't it? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It's such a good question. And I first felt like, when I first went to Marbella and I started to see Lamborghinis for the first time in my life on a regular basis and Ferraris,
you get desensitized here.
Well, I was desensitized, but at the first time I moved away to a country like that, I just kind of went inside of myself and was just like, I feel like this little. But then I came to Dubai and I was like, you know what? I know what it takes now to own that.
Yeah.
And then when you see the glamorous stuff now, I mean, I'm totally desensitized to it. A Lamborghini drives past a Ferrari. You don't even look twice.
And normally people are looking at it.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe in the central parts, like downtown, people are like taking photos.
Yes.
Yeah, with the tourists are. But us regular folk who are here on a daily basis now, it's
Rolls Royce,
nothing.
Mansories, all that stuff is just rolling around.
The only thing I think we turn our head for now is like a pink and green dotted Lamborghini there. It's like, oh, that's a random color. Correct. But it's like, if it's just a regular color, it's like, we don't even think twice about it now.
But you know what a good thing about that is that if you have the right mindset, it's the motivation to say, there's so many people making so much money here that why can it not be me? Right?
Absolutely.
So, but you can look at it in two ways. There's a lot of people that are jealous and they look down upon people or they feel a certain way. Why don't I have that? And then there's the other people like us that have that hustle mentality and say that guy's rolling around in a $2 million Mansory or a $5 million Bugatti. We are going to get that too, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what you need to use. I think that's what I think you think the same. When 100%. We see that, we're just like, man, we're going there right now.
Well, the thing is, it's different as well when, you've seen these supercars and you start admiring them. And then all of a sudden you're shaking hands and you're showing these people who own these cars around the property. And then all of a sudden you're having coffee with them. Then all of a sudden you're having a whiskey with them and a cigar. And you're like, this guy's just became somewhat my friend or my colleague or whatever it is. I'm now into business with this person. So when you start seeing that, that's where the real success starts.
Correct. Yeah. So I think definitely, so the answer to the question is definitely glitz and glamour. But the good thing about Dubai too is that you can go and have a shawarma wrap and a karak tea for 1 dirham. Yeah. So you can sort of live like any lifestyle.
Or you can have a gold-plated steak for $1,000.
A cappuccino with some gold on top by Salt Bay. Like all this stuff is available. So it's very diverse and everything is catered to you. If you have a family, all the restaurants are family friendly. They have like everything is there. I was very surprised about that when I went into a restaurant in some places like in Paris and stuff. Kids were not allowed to be coming to those restaurants. And here they'll have like entertainment for kids. So that way mom and dad can have a date night and the kids can sort of not get pushed to the side, but they can go be entertained without having, sitting home with your nanny or house sitter, right?
Yeah, so. No, I agree. And well, I mean, I think if someone was watching this, I think they're probably ready to come to Dubai now.
If you're not, I don't know.
Well, you're missing out.
You're missing out.
You're missing out. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. And I hope if you were thinking about moving to Dubai, you're now going to come. And as always, if you want any information on real estate investing and you wanted to relocate the family or yourself, then get in touch with us.
Yeah, or just wanted some more information about.
We'll give you a kick if you need some more information as well. See you on the next one, guys.